You're listening to Unseen. We're a home for queer millennial voices. No fame, no filters, no perfection required. We celebrate queer millennials with stories to tell, wisdom to share, and voices that deserve to be heard. This is a space where real life, messy, hilarious, and full of heart is always worth sharing. Watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Today's guest, Brittaney Latta, a non-traditional queer trauma therapist based in California who specializes in C-PTSD, codependency, anxiety, and depression in LGBTQ plus adults and teens. Her work blends trauma-informed care and inner child healing to help clients reset their nervous systems, build boundaries, and discover their spark, whether in love, friendship, or work. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Brittaney.
Yeah, so you just said that intro so nicely. I was like, I need to write that down because that sounds just like
It could have been
so
Chat
pristine.
GPT.
Well, ChatGPT did good on this one. So yeah, I'm Brittaney. I'm a survivor turned therapist. I have been working in the mental health space since 2009, but I've been a therapist since 2016. So I've been around for the pandemic and now all the stuff that we have going on. You can follow me on Instagram, Brittaney Does Therapy. I do online therapy specifically with queer trauma survivors. And I have just been absolutely loving working with our community. Everyone is just so intelligent and creative, and a bunch of badasses, if I can say that word on here.
You can say whatever you want. We're going to jump in with a super hard question. You describe yourself as a non-traditional therapist. What does that mean in your practice? And what do you think people are craving from therapy that traditional models often miss?
So when I say non-traditional, I mean I am super directive. I don't use any platitudes, I believe is the correct word. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. And I have lived a very open-minded lifestyle that I'm pretty open about. So I'm bisexual, polyamorous. I'm an addict in recovery. I'm a previous sex worker. So my lifestyle, it just naturally makes me very different from Gen Pop and Gen Pop therapists. So I bring all of that work into the therapy room. We're just very direct, very honest. And I don't believe in shame. I don't believe in conservative values. And so when people come to me, a lot of times they've worked with very traditional, stereotypical therapists that are either just bringing a venting session to therapy or they're shaming them and causing more trauma than what they've already experienced. So I believe that's kind of the biggest thing that people are looking for. They're looking to not be re-traumatized in therapy.
I mean, yes. So what was the catalyst? That's the way you described yourself is an incredible space to be in. Queer, polyamorous, former sex worker, all the things. What was the catalyst for you to be you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to be a therapist?
Honestly, my own trauma. And I went through, so I used to be an expert people pleaser, an expert repressing all my emotions until my brain decided it didn't want to do that anymore. And so I actually went through psychosis where I was hallucinating and delusional for about a week and tried to kind of figure that out. It was also I was very in the closet during the time too. So trying to figure my brain out, figure my identity out, figure out how I'm supposed to actually cope in the world with everything I've been through at the young age of I think this was 18 when I had my psychosis. And I'm 35 now. So it's just psychology just fascinated me. And I went from being an 18-year-old in college, dropping out, failing my first semester because of the psychosis, thinking I was going to be a professional dancer, to then having this mental breakdown, having to work on myself and realizing I actually really love the brain. I love learning about just what makes people work and what makes us be able to be resilient and what just different diagnoses are just so fascinating to me. And so, yeah, I just fell in love. And
so what kind of clients do you work with? I know it's broadly LGBTQ, but is it a lot of couples counseling? Talk us through that.
Yeah, so I pretty much work with millennials and Gen Z a lot of people that are neurodivergent. I work with individuals, most of them non-married and never having kids. Some of them do want to get married one day, and a lot of them have had a really hard time with like making solid, healthy relationships or even solid friendship. A shit ton of like social anxiety and rejection sensitivity. And so a lot of them are just, I just can't stop saying the word, like they're baddies. Like they're trying to be young professionals, like creating a path in the world that is different from the one that they were raised with. I think a lot of times people try to do the whole neurotypical cis het way of life and they realize how miserable that's making them. And so coming to me, we kind of try to figure out how can you actually make life work for you versus you trying to work for life.
I love that. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. I feel like we're all, I mean, I am 100% the example of living the cis het, like corporate job, do the thing. But I've always had this deep tension with it just grates against my, I don't know what the thing is, but like who I
Your
am.
soul.
Yeah, it just grates against it. But it's like, nope, I need to follow this path. I need to keep moving forward in this thing to have X, Y, and Z, to be able to provide X, Y, and Z for my kid. Like,
Well,
it's
there's
just
safety in that, right?
exactly.
Like, it's so safe. And especially a lot of people I work with are very intelligent and like very creative. And so they do make it work for them.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they get pretty far in a lot of their roles. And it's hard to walk away and do something different and like start over and trail down a path you've never seen before. Like, we don't have representation of people like us. So luckily with the internet and social media, that's definitely getting to be a little different, which is why I try to be so open online so that like I can at least be someone's like little window of like, oh, okay, this person's living life different and it's working and that's cool. I could try something different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I want to pivot a little bit. So you said, in something I read about you, probably an article about you, that you help clients rediscover their spark. Makes me think of Esther Perel. So how do you define, one, losing your spark? And then what does it look like when someone starts to feel that spark return?
I'm going to try my best not to talk in therapy language, but in therapy language, when someone loses their spark, that usually looks like depression. Like the world is just getting really heavy, low motivation. It's actually hard to get out of bed, which is not quote unquote normal. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's so hard to get out of bed every morning. That's not really how it's supposed to be after a full night's sleep. Brain fog, not wanting to do anything outside of work. It's kind of like they're just doing the basic needs, like maybe even not even showering every day. It's like go work, come home, eat. If you have kids, take care of the kids, usually living for their kids. So trying to find your spark again is like just almost like getting your personality back, like finding joy with friends, community, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, getting that like life is hard. So it's getting the hope and like the willingness to want to do this thing every day called living.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would say the spark looks obviously very different for everybody. An introvert is going to look different than an extrovert. A creative is going to look different than someone that's left-brained. But ultimately, life is really tough. And just being able to be like, okay, I want to do this in the morning, I think is really huge.
Yeah. Don't you think it's cyclical? I don't know. I feel like there are these. I'm old enough now as a 43-year-old, but I can look back and be like, this year was good. This year was bad. This year is good. So I feel like my spark is a ping pong, and it's just time. Like, how do you work with your clients to understand when that spark returns, or maybe some strategies around like what you guide them to find it again?
Well, I want to say one, that it is totally normal to do this. Like, I would say that's actually a good thing, right? It's when we're only down here that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And being able to like experience those highs, I think it's very, very important. And so when you're not able to experience a high at all and you're like a consistent down, I would say for like more than 2 weeks, obviously certain things happen in life that definitely make that longer. But some of the best coping strategies, I mean, it's so different for everyone that it's hard to say like what would be the best thing to help someone get their spark back right away. You really have to figure out for you what works. Like some people want to meditate. Some people need to have alone time. Some people need more boundaries. Some people need to actually just take care of their body, like nutrition, sleep, exercise. Some people just need to have fun and like learn how to play, you know, like not everything needs to be work and productivity. And sometimes just like letting ourselves enjoy and being nice to ourselves and not shaming ourselves for not being perfect all the time. I think there's a lot of definitely complex answers to that question.
I love that. And I love that you actually brought in the concept of adults and play. It's something that I've realized when my son was probably 2 years old, that it was the beginning of COVID. And I just remember being like, we were so at odds with each other. I'm like, oh my God, because I had to be main mom during that time. And it like just came out of the blue. And I'm like, holy shit, it's because I don't know how to like put my guard down and just play and just be this like carefree, shame-free person being silly. And we never think about incorporating that into our adult lives. And I think it's so huge. Like for me, now I'm like a goofball. After I had that realization, I instituted like a hardcore Friday night karaoke dance party with my family. And so my wife and I basically get drunk and then we just sing songs with my son and dance around.
And sends me videos.
And I send videos. It's wildly embarrassing, but we have a good time. So it's that element of like bringing play back into your life, and to your point about shame, like not having shame for that is amazing.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did anyone play with you when you were that age?
Wow. Oh, no.
Going deep.
Holy shit. No. My brother was a couple of years older and he was not fun. So I did a lot of solo play. Yeah.
I don't know how many people I have worked with that do have kids who, when their kids get to a certain age where their own trauma or neglect happened, all of a sudden they learn that they have to like reparent themselves because it starts to bring up whatever stuff that they had repressed. And so it's interesting that like your kid's age of 2, like how young that is, it like immediately was your mirror.
Yeah. Wow. Gonna unpack that later.
Bring that to your therapist.
That's a good one.
We also, though, like we talk a lot about boomers on this pod because most millennials were raised by them. And like what you said earlier about wanting to get up each day and live life, because life is by nature difficult, right? So I feel like this kind of old guard take was work, get through the difficult times. The payoff will be later. And I feel like we're this first generation of rejecting that. You know, like I talk a lot about my parents. They got really lucky. They worked really hard. They both stayed healthy. They got to retire early, have some money in the bank. They travel, they enjoy their lives. But how many people don't make it to that, right? So I just feel like we're kind of this generation too of figuring out like this is really difficult, but I don't want to just power through. I need to find a way to make it feel worth it now. I can't say, hey, in 30 years, this will all pay off, right? So it's like, we want the help now to figure out how to make this feel worth it. And like, not every day is going to be the best day ever. And I tell my kids that all the time, but some of them should be, and it shouldn't have to be light years away, right?
Yeah. It's like happier sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, suffering is normalized. Like that older generation, it is normal to them to be in pain. And so I don't know when it happened where people are like, wait, this like isn't actually normal. And I feel like that's where the internet, honestly, like with social media, there's so many pros and cons, but social media has been such a huge impact in the mental health space, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
People realized like that therapy is cool and that you actually can feel better. And people started talking about like their own journeys and how it can change. And I even think like for me being a sober person, sobriety also has gotten cool because of the internet.
Really cool.
I know.
Yeah.
We're not there.
I wish I was that cool.
As you drink a hot toddy and I have an espresso.
I have a
martini.
mocktail, so I'm joining you guys with a mocktail that I made.
Cheers. Cheers. We love a mocktail.
And we all have nice glasses.
Even like when I was pregnant in 2016, like if I was out at a bar or restaurant and I just wanted I got sick of ordering water and seltzer. It was still like, oh, we have some like juice in the gun in the bar. Like nobody wants to drink that juice, right? Like,
no.
I even as someone who does drink, I've been plenty of places where I order the mocktail now because I'm like, well, this is delicious, right? I'm like, just the options now, they just weren't there 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And even the options for mental health now. So we have a whole line of like coaches that have come out.
Yep.
Plus and minuses with them, but some of them have created some really cool things, whether it's like a book, a workbook, a program, a video, whatever it is. There's just like a lot more options for people to take care of themselves now.
I got a little bit into, I don't know if you've heard that, to be magnetic. Have you heard of this? It's probably.
Oh, what is that?
You did that.
Yeah.
This is when our friendship was new and I was like, something's
She thought I was crazy.
Was it a cold?
So historically, I have never, and I'm like, now that you landed that bomb of a question on me, I'm like, why are you not licensed in New York? You might want to work on that. You'll get a lot of clients.
For you, I actually do have some therapist friends in New York.
Okay, great. But my entire life, I believe in therapy. My friends are therapists. Like people close to me are all people who want to care for other people. And I just could never find the right therapist because I'm slightly arrogant and I read a lot. So I'm always like, you're not helping me with anything new. I've tried this. Like, I don't know how to find the balance with someone who's going to like surprise me with something I haven't already thought about in my own self-work. So
being a therapist is the same experience trying to find a therapist.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's great because my ex is a therapist and who I've known forever. So she's basically my therapist, which works out because she knows the history. And then
The unofficial therapist.
I know, she's free. It's great.
That's one of my best friends is a therapist. And so anything that's going on with my kids, I'm like, I need family therapy right now. I need friendship aside, family therapy time.
Quick sesh. Free sesh.
Free sesh.
I hope you guys get them nice dinners out of it at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always take her
Or
out.
some fresh baked good. We love a good baked good.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. It's the best thing.
I was someone who only ever would find a therapist if I was going through a difficult time. So like when I fell in love with my wife in college and she broke my heart, I got a therapist, right? She helped me get through that initial experience. And then I experienced a trauma. I had an accident in my 20s and I needed a therapist. And it's this like the limiting having to find a therapist who was covered by my health insurance. I was living in New York City. I'm very lazy. I was like, I need to be able to walk. So she needs to be on the Upper East Side.
This was like before online therapy.
This was back when you had to go to their office. And I just remember she would sit there and just like make a sad face and be like, you got hurt and you're sad. And I just remember thinking like, actually, I'm angry and I feel selfish and I'm doing self-sabotage type of behavior. And I needed someone to just be like, get the fuck over your shit and deal. I needed some tough love. And instead I was just getting like sad face tissues and I had no other option, right? So I just eventually stopped going. And I'm like, now I feel like you can find the right, which wasn't.
Yeah. The internet has changed the game 100%. Like it is so much easier to shop because finding a therapist is just like dating. You have to go through quite a few. You have to see which one clicks. It is a process and a journey. I finally landed on my therapist last year, and I've been in and out of therapy since I was 18. So it took me many years to find the one.
It's so funny. Finding the one. Are we talking about our partners or are we talking about our therapist?
My wife found
Our therapists are our partners in
Right.
a way, though. Like, it's such an intimate relationship
Yes.
that has such a huge impact on our
intimate.
lives.
I remember when my wife finally found the one, and then the one moved. And Sam was, it was like almost a breakup for her. She was like, I'm not ready for this. Like, are you going to help me get through it?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit because this is one topic that I love. I'm obsessed with this topic because I feel like I started out my relationships in this world, and then I married someone who is we just don't have a codependent relationship. So talk to me a little bit about codependency.
Good for you guys.
The differences between healthy emotional closeness and codependent patterns. Like, what does this look like for you? You must deal with a lot of it being a queer therapist. I'm super interested because just, having a history of it and being out of it, it feels like coming through something on the other side. It's so different.
Yeah, this is my favorite subject as well. Codependency and boundaries, which they both go very hand in hand because we don't have boundaries when we're deep in codependency. I am also a recovering codependent, and I didn't even learn what this word was until I had a really great therapist when I was like in my late 20s. And she kept saying it. Like, every problem I would bring to her, she'd be like, what's the definition of codependency, Brittaney? And her definition was when you sacrifice yourself to be with other people. So it's like continual self-sacrifice to make everyone happy and keep people connected to you. And so I feel like we have different reasons why this comes up. One is social conditioning. Like, a lot of us are we're conditioned to work and feed into the patriarchy and feed into capitalism and to be these like sheep, right, in the world. And so we have to be codependent to do that, right? We have to continuously self-sacrifice to make other people money, and to conform to whoever made up all these rules. So that is a piece of it. Another one is like learning it from the generations above us, right? And then the last piece that is like the queer piece is so many of us, at least, grew up having to face rejection like over and over and over again in whatever capacity that was, right? And so we just so desperately crave being accepted and having connection. And so the minute we start dating someone, right, especially in the beginning, it's like you're not just romantically dating someone like in a cis het couple, like you're with their best friend, right? Like, you can go to the same bathroom together, like you have similar hobbies, like you could share clothes if you wanted to. Like, there's so much overlap in like family, friendship, and lovers that it's so easy to constantly do whatever you think you need to do to keep that person with you because they fill so many different, I guess, like pain points that we experience as queer people. And I do see a difference in people that were socialized as like women or girls and people that were socialized as boys, like in young ages, how that codependency looks. And so like people that were socialized as girls were super big self-sacrificers and like molding into whoever our partners want us to be. And then I see it with like people that were socialized as boys as like, you don't say anything because you don't want to upset anybody so that you can maintain friendships. And so there's always like this emotional distance. And the other one is like immense enmeshment, right? Where you're like too connected. And so, yeah, it's been fascinating to go through my own journey and then to talk with other people about it because there's a lot of social unlearning.
Okay, so I'm like on the cusp of polyamorous pansexual who's monogamously married. But like what comes up to me is that my codependency when I dated men didn't exist. It was only when I was dating women in my 20s, which is fascinating to me because if you would ask me, did you love him? I would be like, yeah, I loved him because I did. But the love, I don't know if it's like where I live on the spectrum of what pansexual means, but like I was never as devastated with men as I was with women.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is like, were you afraid of losing him?
Never. I don't know.
Like, fuck off.
It was more like, I don't know, the confidence.
It.
It was like, yeah, this is amazing. Why would you not want this? I feel bad for you.
Good for you and your confidence level.
I know, but earlier on with women, I was like, oh my God, I had to like question. And then it was like, how do I present? I've only been presented like these mask, femme, cishet, like relationship dynamics. I didn't understand that. So like earlier on when you're kind of mass presenting, you didn't know you could like play a different role in just being who you are.
Well, also as millennials, like we could be straight or gay.
Oh yeah. Bisexual was a joke.
Fluidity, right? Yeah. Bisexual was just like LOL. What?
Yeah.
I've been bisexual my whole life. So I have experienced the whole LOL and also like this idea that you have to pick a side.
Yeah.
Like there's this pressure. There's still a pressure in our own. This is a problem in our own community still. And I think it is that cishet conditioning of like, you need to pick one.
Yeah.
Like we have to think in binary terms.
Exactly.
Like fluidity is like too abstract.
Yeah. It's too real.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But it is interesting that you were not so scared of like losing a boyfriend.
Yeah.
But the core of codependency is like that fear of losing or the fear of abandonment.
I'm so jealous that I don't have a voice. I feel like you're getting really good therapy.
I'm getting great therapy right now.
I'm just like a spectator.
I'm so disappointed that you're not licensed in New York. Oh my God.
I know. This is not therapy. This is for educational purposes only.
Asterisk.
Yes.
I love it. Okay.
For the lawyers out there.
Okay, this is a good one. How does trauma show up in the way we choose partners? And what does a secure connection look like in real life?
So this is a very unfortunate answer because I don't love this situation. But behind attraction, like when we think chemistry or we think that spark between two people, that is actually subconscious programming of what's familiar to us. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say this, and it just makes me like so wigged out.
It's so sad. It's so sad because what's familiar is what we are raised around, right?
Can I tell you something before you finish?
Yeah, go for it. Okay.
My mother has not overly been excited about or loved all of my prior partners, 99% of them being women, until my wife. So that's the fascinating thing, is that my mom recognized with my other partners, maybe she was like, I don't see me in her. And then the partner I choose.
So you're saying that Laura is like a mother to you?
No, but like,
Laura, you're going to love this.
I'm trying to have a follow on here because I feel like it's the familiarity, right? Or maybe in my mind, it's the desire to like that sometimes I just want to be taken care of. And so it's not that she's my mom, but she's the person who's going to.
I know. I just had to rag on you.
You know, I set you up for it. It's perfect.
It's such an unfortunate statement of like that stereotypical, like you married your dad or you married your mom or whatever. It's like kind of true. And that could be very like gender neutral. Like I've dated my dad and stepfather in so many genders that's my toxic attraction. That I've had to unlearn that. Like, it doesn't matter the gender. I kept going for the same person.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And so, you can unlearn, like.
But what if it works?
Meanwhile, my mom just about lost her mind when I started dating Sam. And now she will like text Sam back before she texts me. She acts like she's her best friend and confidant. And I'm like, hey, reminder, Mom, if you talk to Sam about sex, Sam's going to tell me.
Also weird.
So weird. But he just stopped talking to me about it.
That's boundaries. Boundaries. Yeah.
We don't have them.
I forgot what the original question was.
Oh, how does trauma show up in the way we choose partners?
Yeah. So I guess with that, it's like if you have trauma from a parent, right? If you have like an abusive parent, that is going to affect your attachment style. And that's going to affect the type of partners you choose. And so you are at risk with childhood trauma of repeating your trauma through the partners you choose.
So what's the excuse for these people we know who have great families and great childhoods, and then they go and repeatedly just date assholes?
I would say high levels of empathy.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense too. I know we're going to run out of time, but I really want to talk about boundaries, which was that other question.
Please ask.
Well, I feel like, again, another millennial buzzword is boundaries. We're all finally setting them, but like, how do we really do it? And how do we actually work through the crazy guilt that some of us feel when we do enforce boundaries? And what do boundaries even look like? We're all just kind of, that word is ubiquitous right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like back to table setting, I am really good at boundaries. Like I am just.
Yeah, you're always telling me.
Too good at boundaries?
She is too good at boundaries.
Okay.
That's
I'm going
the thing.
to hire you. Okay. Possibly, yes. But she is we're on the opposite ends of the boundary scale. So I'm always
but somewhere in the middle of us would be like
the perfect
pretty,
person.
Yeah. We're the
right person. Exactly.
That would be your ideal boundary, is the mix of you.
In the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like to say boundaries are about how we conserve our own energy. And so there are 3 different types of boundaries, right? We can either be like a wall where we're conserving our energy through something that is like, you can't get through it, right? We have just this giant wall protection. We have all the energy. We don't let anything in, right? We can also have like a giant open window where all of our energy is just escaping because we're giving so much of it out. Ideally, we want a door. So we want to be able to open the door and give energy, and we want to be able to close the door and conserve energy.
I like that. I'm always saying reciprocity.
Yeah. But rules are difficult.
If I'm not getting back what I'm giving, I always think of it as like a bank account. Like if I'm putting in $1,000 every week and like someone else is putting in, $5.
I don't think of it that way at
I
all.
am like,
but that's also not a boundary, because a boundary has everything to do with your own behavior and not someone else's behavior.
oh, God.
So when we think about
you,
other people's
Brittany.
behaviors, that's a request.
What does it take to get a license to New York?
You're just going
honestly have no idea.
I don't get it, Brittany.
I've talked to a million people that I'm like,
In
you're not my
California.
therapist.
Oh, next I know you're going to be like, let's all move to California.
Well, no,
I do
I would move to
offer
San Diego tomorrow if I had a job.
I do offer a personal retreat, which is a 3-day therapy accelerator that you can do in person. So you could actually come here and we could do a 3-day personal retreat.
That sounds like a business trip.
Yeah, it does. And
Yeah.
I am going to go on that business trip. Can we do a 2-person?
You can totally do a 2-person. If that's what you guys want, that would be your experience.
Also, I know already, like, you're the one of 2 people in the world that would make me cry.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Wait, are you fighting tears today?
When you asked me the play question, it like hit my chest in a way that I was like, holy shit, no one's ever asked me that. Such an interesting question. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Having kids is very fascinating. I do not have kids, but I actually started my therapy journey working with kids in the foster system.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I've been able to be on the other side of like seeing trauma in children, and now adults are just like, we're just giant children.
I worked at a bridge home in foster care for 8 days.
Wow.
Because I could not, I'd play with them, read their little files, and I was
Window
like,
shut, door slammed,
bound.
wall.
I couldn't. I would fall apart there was just no way I could like have all the information absorb and keep it and just be like a positive role model. I just couldn't handle it. And then I'm like, you're either equipped to work with that environment or you're not. And I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, give me a spreadsheet and a PowerPoint deck and I will crush it.
I'm also the worst mom because my kids will be like, you're so mean. I'm like, you don't even fucking know how lucky you are.
I mean, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
You're like, I told you no.
Yeah. So sorry.
I'm allowed to be mean.
So sorry.
If that's mean, that is okay.
Yeah. Good for
We
you.
can be mean. We can't be cruel.
Yes.
Yes.
There's such a difference.
There is such a difference.
We can experience discomfort. We should not be experiencing pain.
Yeah.
Let's do some queer quickies.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Your first celebrity crush.
Oh my gosh, you said don't overthink it. The first person that came to my mind was Usher.
Ursher?
Yeah.
You're 35. That is tenure appropriate. I mean, he was hot shit back in the day. Okay.
Yeah, I think I had a poster of him.
Nice.
What's the first queer bar you ever went to?
It was a queer night.
Yeah, that was kind of a thing back then. Yeah.
Okay, so it was called Club Delicious in LA and it was 18 and up.
Club Delicious?
And so we would go there. It was like Wednesdays, 18 and up Club Delicious. And it was like gay night at one of the clubs in LA. And so every Wednesday, me and my friends would go.
What is one stereotype about queer women that you secretly love? Or let's just call it queer people if you don't want to like go in either direction. We'll give you all the room.
A stereotype about queer people that I actually love? I mean, can I just say that we sparkle?
We do fucking sparkle.
Yeah.
It's funny.
too.
I think that's a thing because I am 100% certain that my gaydar is like 98% accurate.
Wow, that's amazing.
Sound like Sam.
I'm really good. Like, I don't think everybody is queer.
That's Sam thinks everybody is.
I think
I'm
that,
yeah,
like,
I think I'm like Sam.
Yeah.
I think
I
that-
always ask people if they're gay or straight, and it's a lot of straight people often.
and they're
And
like,
they get so like, yeah, they get so weird.
So
I'm like,
weird.
why is that?
you're like,
weird
it's a
to ask?
compliment,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I'm also like, I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you assuming I'm straight.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you.
Yeah, rude.
That's funny. Okay, we sparkle. What is your queer superpower?
My queer superpower. These are questions I've never thought of in my life, so I have to tell you. I guess like to make people feel seen. Yeah.
This is where like the podcast intro comes in, unseen. Isn't that like, you
Yeah.
just teed that up for us. It's
Thank
perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, what makes you go from 0 to unhinged? Could be anything.
Well, back in the day, it was tequila.
Does that for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have a drunk alter ego named Betty.
Oh, damn.
Betty liked to jump on things and jump off of things.
Ouch.
Do we have injuries from Betty?
Betty has had many an injury. Yeah. I tried to crowd surf one time when no one was there. And so I just jumped from a go-go box, straight belly flopped onto a hardwood floor.
Betty.
No.
Yeah.
Betty's on this.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like this has possibly happened to me. So
From tequila also?
I don't discriminate. I am a pansexual. Yeah, Betty and I think we have some
Betty
things
and
in
all.
common. Yeah.
Yeah, Betty was a good time.
All right,
Until
last
she
one.
wasn't.
Yeah, right.
Best queer movie or show?
Best queer movie or show? I mean, I feel like season 1 of The Ultimatum was just amazing.
I'm trying to think.
I've never seen that.
The Queer Ultimatum
wait,
season 1.
Wait.
I'm just a reality TV whore.
Mal?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's season 2,
Get it together.
I don't know.
right?
Mal?
I haven't watched
really
like
bad with
queer
names.
reality
Remember
TV
Mal.
since Tila Tequila.
Oh, that was OG.
Oh,
That was
Oh,
OG.
You're
No.
old. That was a long time ago.
That was so
That was
long
a good
ago.
one.
I was old enough where I was like kind of aged out of that.
Yeah.
Like I just wasn't, I was too busy
I
to watch
also
TV.
really enjoyed Tampa Bays. Did you guys watch Tampa Bays?
No.
Never even heard of it.
Okay, you guys got to get with the reality TV.
Pass.
Tell me what Tampa Bays is.
It was just a reality TV show full of lesbians in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa.
Interesting.
Mhm.
What network was that even on?
That's a good question.
Why
I don't
doesn't
remember.
Sam have this on repeat? I need to know.
Yeah. Wow.
Very close to Sarasota.
They made a Sarasota reality show and like Sam, they didn't even watch it because it was terrible.
Okay. So I think that wraps it up. I mean, this was
This was fun.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to do this for 3 days straight in sunny San Diego.
like what other activities? Because it can't just be therapy all day. I will be a puddle of nothing.
You'll
No.
find things to do. I'm not worried.
So
It's
with
really
my
nice 4 seasons there, actually.
with my therapy accelerator, it is called Break to Bloom. And when it comes to the in-person retreat, it's like pretty much a retreat style that's extremely curated to you. So I do like a pre-interview with a workbook, and we kind of do an assessment of like what are all the things that you need and what are all the things that would help you get to your goals within those 3 days. And so there's going to be a lot of like hands-on somatic work where I actually bring other practitioners in. So it's not just therapy, it's also like whether that is massage, acupuncture, yoga, a nutritionist. It like depends on what your needs are. So it'll be like an actual like full-on retreat style that like will revamp someone's whole entire routine, very hands-on and very direct, while also doing therapy stuff within there.
Thank you
Please
so much.
Thank you so much. Give us your like
Yeah.
where to reach you, how to connect with you, all the things.
Yeah, so the best way to reach me is on Instagram. That's where I have like all the updates, just at Brittaney, Brittaney does therapy. And all of my links are on my bio.
Thank you to Brittaney Latta for teaching us the true definition of codependency, what it means to find your spark, and convincing us to book a 3-day therapy retreat in San Diego. We have had so many incredible guests on this season of Unseen, and we can't wait to see you again in 2026.